So for younger or smaller goats that their head doesn't stay in the stanchion, if you don't have an adjustable one like we don't, holding them like this usually works pretty well as long as they don't have too long of a back and you can't reach to their back legs. And they're not too crazy, and I'll show you if she gets too crazy what I'll do. And if she keeps being spunky, which she is doing, then you want to tip her on her side. The way you do this, hold them against your body, firm against your body. Grab this leg and grab this leg and slide them down your legs. Don't just drop them on the ground. Gone out of the frame of the camera. Oh well. This is the least desired method of doing it because it usually stresses the goat out pretty bad. She's doing good. She's kind of a little pet and calm anyway. So I don't know if you can see what I'm doing here is stop it. I'm holding the bottom front leg right up above the knee. Let's see if I can show you on this leg right here. And I'm just holding her, keeping her on the ground, and yeah, she's doing good. So how you'd trim, stop it, okay, is you'd actually get on top of her and don't, I'm not putting any weight on her, my knees are what's holding her together, and then we'll just trim. But you gotta be fast and avoid it if you can because it's not ideal. It usually stresses them out really bad. And then once you're gonna let them get up, don't just let them go because they usually have a hard time getting their balance when they're on their side. So I'm gonna help her out. There we go. Good girl. You're a good girl, Minxie. Most of them will kick and fight. You weren't a good example for that. But you were a good example for being a good girl. Yeah. So that's how I do kids that won't stop fighting and I don't have anyone to help me hold them. Huh. Yeah. Okay, so if I don't have a stanchion or I have a buck that won't fit in the stanchion, this is a method I've used. Only once, but it worked well. Otherwise I would just try to bait them with grain. But I have this chain collar on just so I think her plastic collar will break if she pulls against it too hard. Push her up against the fence. Hi, kitty. Put her neck against the fence there. Wrap this thing around a whole bunch of times. Now, then you can try trimming their hooves. You know, hum-de-dum if they're going to stand there good. If they won't though, here's where the second leash comes in handy. Put it around her belly. Or you can do the leg, but they'll might tip if you do that, so be careful. And I'm just going to clip it to the fence right here. And they usually won't move if you're doing their front feet because it's their hind end that moves because their front end can't. So do their front feet good. I'm going to get over to her hind end, and if she decides to start being spunky, this leash will stop her. Yeah, you're stuck, huh? Yeah. Good girl being a demo. Got milk now? Okay, let's talk about the angles of the hoof that a well-trimmed hoof should be at. Don't jump. If you pull up the hair and find their coronary band, I suppose it's called. Come on, put your weight on your foot. Here we go. This should be straight all the way to the ground. So you see there's a little bit of extra toe on there, but I'm not a professional groomer and that little bit doesn't make much difference to me. They should also be fairly straight down the back. Oh, where's your hoof? So you can see that one's nice, and they're nice and flat on the bottom, and toes are pretty short. You're going to be able to get the front feet, the toes shorter than on the back ones, because the back feet just have a natural bit of a longer toe, no matter how much you trim, so don't worry about that too much. But this is how I like to see them. This foot is a little bit starting to turn out a little bit. If we could look from the front, it's just the way she's standing. I don't know. Anyway, she might need a little bit of corrective trimming. Now on the bottom of the hoof, what you want to see is flat all the way across, and these hooves aren't expert examples because I'm not an expert, but not exactly how they should be, but pretty flat plain along the top, and yeah, just nice, pretty well done. I just want to look like that. Unless you're a show person, then you want them a little better than that, but well. If you are a show person that wants perfect hoofs, what you want to do is trim weekly. You can buy these like grinders that where you would just sand down the foot a little bit at a time. That'd be for more, you know, it's small enough that you don't trim it, but there's still a little bit of extra there that you want gone. You would sand it down. But the clippers aren't going to do that because you can't get everything with the clippers. You know, you get the big chunks, which is good enough, and you can get a really good trim, but the real perfect people, they use the sanders or grinders. Also, don't be alarmed if you cut a little too deep or cut a toe a little too short and they start bleeding. You can put wound stop powder on it, but it's really not necessary. They don't lose very much blood. It's fine. Some people trim dew claws, some don't. I trim them when they get grossly overgrown. I'm not trimming this girl's because she's a yearling and they're not big. You know, it's usually just the older does that need it. That's just up to you. You can trim those too short too, so you gotta be careful about those. You know. And I'm not sure what the correct trimming for a dew claw is, so I don't know. I just cut off the parts that are starting to like, you know, you've got the dew claw and there's parts that are like coming off the side, you know, just cut it off. Some goats, especially bucks, but even does, or even if you live in a dry climate, their hooves are really, really hard, and it's almost impossible to get through them with a pair of hoof clippers. So in that case, what you can do is trim them after they've been walking on the dew-covered pasture in the morning or something like that, or you can use miniature horse hoof nippers.